Before we start this video, I would like to start by saying a few quick words about the passing of Satoru Iwata. It was a tragedy for Nintendo, and most definitely for gamers everywhere. I mean, he was directly involved with dozens of games that I would consider influential on my childhood, and even into my adolescent and adult life. And he really seemed to care about us as more than just consumers or customers. We were fellow gamers to him. People who were looking to have fun doing something we loved, and he understood that. Rest in peace to a wonderful man who made sure video games remained fun for us all to enjoy. It's up to us to honor his legacy. Video games used to have two main ways in which to increase their replay value to the player. The first and most common was difficulty. And by that I mean Nintendo hard, just sheer challenging gameplay that was straightforward but required a surprising amount of effort and talent to master. The second was RPG elements, including but not limited to making the player retrace their steps multiple times, or farming in order to purchase items in the game that allowed you to progress, things like that. And I'm really more of a fan of the former, and that's not to say exclusively, because I do love a good adventure game in the Metroid style, where you have to traverse a seemingly open world and solve puzzles and the like. I mean, heck, Silent Hill and Legacy of Kain are two of my favorite game series, and they don't fit into the category that I described above. And beyond that, I'm not and never was a video game master. I never beat any of the Ninja Gaidens. It took me years to beat the first Castlevania, and some games to this day I don't want to play again because I'll just be forced to rage quit. I thrive on simple plots and straightforward objectives. They really make games more endearing in my opinion. I love a good run to the end of the level fighting monsters in order to save the princess style game. I love to traverse a carefully laid out linear level with well-placed enemies that challenge my ability to platform or master the button commands. And I love fighting a difficult, memorable boss at the end of each level. Maybe that's why I love Demon's Crest so much. It adequately blends both of the main styles of replay enhancement that game designers primarily exploit. There are RPG elements, a world map where you choose your levels, the ability to backtrack and explore new areas, all that. The core gameplay is based around the style most similar to a linear platforming adventure game. It's actually more or less a Mega Man clone, if that puts it into perspective for you. The story is pretty simple and unfolds mostly through the gameplay itself, and a lot of that is inferred through the paths you take and the enemies you encounter. You can essentially fill in the gaps with your own imagination, but they leave enough solid elements for you to get what you require without the need for cutscenes and excess dialogue, although there is some of that. It's what I like in a game because, frankly, a lot of the storytelling elements and backtracking requirements, and yes, the farming, are just there to waste your time and make you play the game longer with less to show for it. Getting from point A to point B with raw talent is so much more satisfying than grinding for half an hour so you can finally buy the right key or level up enough to fight a stronger boss. Wouldn't you agree? Well, maybe you don't, and that's okay as well. There are plenty of arguments to be made for either camp, and you could name a huge number of games that would make me shrug and say, yeah, you're right. But maybe the real point to take home here is, couldn't the world use more timeless gameplay akin to Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog? Those games have remained relevant for so long because they struck a chord with somebody, and it doesn't seem to be related to a particular demographic or age group. To say that kids today wouldn't get the same enjoyment from a Mega Man game of the classic style is downright bonkers, and you know it. If people can become so addicted to the simplicity of app-style games, they would be filled with wonder at a legitimate 2D Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm glad to see that Nintendo has remained true to this style in a number of their titles, and I'm equally glad to see that people are genuinely excited that these titles even exist. Remember guys, never take yourself or the games too seriously. This has been Mr. Wolfie. Peace out, love you guys.